That bell first sounded in the dying years of the last century. In the 1880s, a young priest named Father Bellevaire left his native Belgium to travel across an ocean and across a country to make a new home in Alberta. It was a small parish, small in numbers at any rate, this Laboucan settlement where he built his church, his school, and his home. A few trappers, a settler or two, some Métis down along the banks of the Battle River. It was certainly very different from the Europe he had known. But Father Bellevaire was a good, hard-working man. He cared for his flock, which increased year by year. He traveled the country, he blessed the crops and catechized the young. So well, in fact, that shortly after he arrived, 28 of the children of the area were presented to the bishop for confirmation. This pleased the good bishop so that he passed his pleasure on to the Archbishop Duhamel of Ottawa. One wonders why 28 well-scrubbed and well-versed children out in the vastness of Alberta made such an impression on the Archbishop of Ottawa, but they obviously did, because he sent Father Bellevaire a bell for his new church. Father Bellevaire died in 1937, after 55 years of ministering to the people of Duhamel, named after the Archbishop whose gift meant so much that when the post office arrived in the early 90s, they changed the name of the town. Last week, the Duhamel Historical Society rang Father Bellevaire's bell once more to welcome the community and the world at large to the Feast of Corpus Christi, a feast conducted in much the same way as it might have been observed by the Father and his followers many years ago. Father Bellevaire was just a little man, in a long, white, stained beard. He remains an imposing figure in the minds of the children who grew like the crops of the fertile area beside his white log church. He was just a little man, but he cast a long shadow.
This is where I grew up, of course, over here. And it's been a good community to have lived in. I'm just delighted to see this thing happen today. It really reflects the way we used to feel about each other, but we could never express it openly before.
Where does this feeling come from in this area specifically?
Oh, I think it came from the really genuine Christian character of Father Bellevaire. That Father Bellevaire was a Christian friend to every man. He would live completely beyond the bounds of his denomination, and he was as welcome in the Protestant homes as he was in the Roman Catholic homes. And as I say, when it came to his birthday party and celebrations of this sort, there were more Protestants than his own people, frequently.
I would say that Mass was scheduled for 10:30 and possibly start 11:15.
Why is that?
When Father Bellevaire would see a family coming over the hill with the horses and buggy, he would always wait till they had arrived before starting Mass.
What sort of a Mass was it?
It was a very colorful Mass. He was a very deliberate priest. He didn't rush the ceremony at all. And we all had plenty of time for meditation.
Long sermon?
Yes, long and slow, and he was very charitable. He didn't scold or thunder at us.
These are the people who came last week to celebrate Corpus Christi, to honor the little Belgian priest, and to have a good old-fashioned social. See them. Farmers, mostly. The faces tanned to the eyes and white above that, where the ever-present shade hats sit on their heads when working in the fields. worn faces, friendly faces. Their wives dressed in Sunday finery, white hats on their heads. The kids, like all kids, everywhere, having fun. Above, summer thunderstorms playing about in the sky, and the wind rattling the flags that mark the route of the procession. Old flags, perhaps 100 years old, Father Bellevaire's flags.
Corpus Christi is taken from the Latin body of Christ. Corpus Christi is a feast day in the church during which we celebrate the real presence, that is, the presence of Christ's body and blood under the form of bread and wine.
While in the church, don't miss the display of pictures reproduced and enlarged by Doug Noden of our society. And our society is always looking for pioneer snaps.
We felt that we had no right to be in on the procession, but we would gather in the road ditch and watch through the fence and sort of feel our way to the edges of it without feeling that we had any rights to come in and be a part of the procession or take a front seat or this sort of thing. But just the same, we always felt that it was part of us.
Yes, the farmers always used to gather outside the church after Mass. Even before Mass, the men would stay outside the little church till the bell rang, and they would talk over the weather, crops, and other matters of the day.
What happened to the women and the children?
They would be inside the church praying.
I was born here in 1904.
You've seen a lot of changes since then.
Yes, there's been a great many changes from the horse and buggy days to the automobile and airplane days.
You never came to this church. Did you know Father at all?
Oh yes, everybody in the district knew him real well because he was a friend to everybody. He was a good-hearted, humble sort of a man. Everybody respected him a terrific amount. The good fellowship and the good neighborliness has existed ever since those days, and it's the same today.
Do you have any idea why?
Well, I would, as far as between the two religions, I would lay it to the door of Father Bellevaire because he was a friend to everybody and intermingled with everybody and encouraged everybody to get along good. As he used to say, we were all going the same place except by a different road.
Father Duhamel lies quietly now, slumbering in the small graveyard behind his church on the banks of the Battle River. His friends, the Laboucans who first gave their name to the area, Mr. Adam, the first postmaster, and others, rest beside him. It's very beautiful around Duhamel in the late spring. All the world is green. But it's too bad Father Hippolyte Bellevaire couldn't attend the celebration last Sunday. He'd have enjoyed it. I'm Colin McLean. This is Skyline. Good night.